Today I have the beautiful Amy back in the studio and I filmed this super easy, lightweight, fresh, natural looking makeup look. So I'm going to start by prepping Amy's skin with a little bit of the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Eye Base. This product is beautiful. All the Vitamin Enriched base products smell like grapefruit. They're really invigorating and refreshing, and this one helps to wake the under eyes. It's like a primer, but it also hydrates and plumps, and it leaves a really beautiful silky finish to the eyes, which is really great for makeup. Both the eye base and the face base contain hyaluronic acid as well as shea butter, so you've got that hydrating element but something that's also very moisturising. So here I'm applying the Vitamin Enriched face base. You want to think of this as a moisturising primer. It's like a hybrid product. This also contains a blend of vitamins B, C and E which help to replenish and condition the skin, and this is particularly geared towards normal to oily skin types. If you have a drier skin type, you might want to try the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas Balm. That's a great primer for drier skin. We are going to go for a glossy lip today, but I always like to apply a lip treatment. This is the Rhode Peptide Lip Treatment. I want to add some glow from within using light layers of products today. So I'm going to use the Sandler Blossom Colour Beauty Glow Multitasking Primer. It gives this beautiful radiance to the skin, and if you follow Daniel on Instagram, you'll see that he actually applied this with just some concealer around his eyes and his skin looked flawless. So this is a great way to add glow to the skin, but also kind of give that light reflecting finish that almost blurs the natural imperfections. So while I leave that to settle onto the skin, I'm going to move on to eyebrows. I'm going to keep it really simple, so I'm going to take the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Freeze Gel, which is the liquid version of the original Brow Freeze, and I'm going to comb that through Amy's eyebrows. I'm going to apply 2 layers, so once I've done one eyebrow, I'll move on to the opposite side, and once that starts to dry down, I'll go back to the original brow and just apply a second coat to make sure it just stays in place, and I'm just brushing them up just enough to create a little bit more volume to her natural shape, and then I'll come and fill those in after I've done foundation. This is the new Makeup Forever HD Skin Hydra Glow, and as you know, for the last 2 years I've raved about the HD Skin foundation, which was the original version. This is the glow version because the original did give a semi-matte finish, and that was the one I opted for my wedding. So this is an 86% skincare based foundation. It has a medium coverage and a natural luminous finish, so it hydrates, smooths, plumps and brightens the skin. I'm using the Makeup Forever 108 large foundation brush to apply a very light layer. Again, as I said earlier, I really want to create a very lightweight natural finish, and using light layers, building them up slowly means that we'll get longevity, but it will still look super natural on the skin. So I'm applying a very light layer, just one pump all over. We've also got that extra glow from within from the Sandler Blossom Primer. With that being said, you can still see Amy's freckles coming through. It really is undetectable on the skin when you blend it into the hairline, down the neck, around the ears, where you can't see a difference in your skin tone and that foundation. Ideally matching as best to your skin tone as you can, this really will be undetectable on the skin. Around the eyes, I want something that's very lightweight that still gives coverage but looks like skin. I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever HD Skin Concealer because it works so well with this foundation. The brush I'm using is the BK Beauty and Nikki LaRose N16 Pro Concealer brush. And then I'm pressing that into the skin using my beauty blender. A damp beauty blender is your best friend when you want a very light, natural looking finish because it will really press everything into the skin and give you very seamless edges, and it will also pick up any excess product. So that's just added a little bit extra coverage around the eye area, and I've blended it down towards the cheeks. I'm then going to take the same concealer and a small detailer brush and just spot conceal any areas that I feel like just need to be evened out a little bit around this area. So pat a small amount of the concealer on with your brush and then bounce over with your sponge. I'm also using the brush to go underneath the lower eyelashes to even the skin and diminish any red tones. Now it's time to fill in the brows for a nice light finish. So I'm just taking the pencil side of my Urban Decay brow blade in the shade Cool Cookie. It's a good shade for Amy and she just likes a very natural finish to the brows. I'm lightly filling in the gaps between each of the hairs for a fuller finish, and these will look a lot lighter and more natural once the rest of the makeup's done. Again, I'm going in with very light layers, so I don't want to apply anything that's too heavy. So I'm going in with this cream contour stick by $19.99 and adding a little bit of the foundation to it. So it's a lot lighter, a little bit softer, and it just blends in with the natural contours of Amy's face. The brush I'm using is the BK Beauty and Nicola Rose N14 Petite Precision Multitasker brush. I'm using this to stipple into the hollows of Amy's cheeks for a very light natural finish. Again, you can still see her freckles coming through. It's not heavy, it doesn't look like we've applied too much bronzer or contour. It's super subtle, it's just enough to add a light amount of sculpt into the skin. I've also used a small petite brush so I can be more precise about the application. If you want to try any of these brushes for yourself, I do have a discount code which I'll put on screen for you but also down in the description bar. If you are new to 1999, which is the brand of the contour stick, it's a brand that's geared towards all age groups whether you're 19 or 99. The colour of the contour that I'm using is the lightest shade called Tea. As you can see, it is super blendable, ultra creamy. You can build this up, but obviously I've mixed it with a little bit of the foundation for a very light finish. I wanted something that just blended much more seamlessly with Amy's skin. Mixing the contour or your blush or your highlighter with your foundation is a trick I've done for so many years. It really does work well when you're creating a very natural, almost no makeup look. And I've put this on the hollows of the cheeks, a little bit around the temple area, around the hairline, and a small amount down the sides of the nose, and whatever was left on my bristles along the jawline and underneath the bottom lip. I want to add a small amount of additional coverage just to this area on Amy's face where a little bit of redness is peering through. So I'm going in with a concealer that has a little bit more coverage than the HD Skin. This is the Vive Modern Radiance Concealer. It's also infused with hyaluronic acid, so it's really good for hydrating and drawing moisture to the skin. I've applied the lightest layer so you can see it's just evened out that skin tone. Going back to the brand 1999, I'm taking this cream highlighter stick in the shade Perla, which is a beautiful iridescent pearlized pink. And on a flat shaded brush, I'm popping a light layer of this across the eyelid, just for a beautiful sheen to the lid. This is a highlighter stick, therefore it will warm up on the eyelid and crease a little bit in the socket. If you don't like the idea of any creasing, then you can use an eyeshadow in a powder form if you prefer. I don't mind a little bit of creasing. I find after an hour of just maneuvering it back into place, you've kind of removed all the excess product in the area that it creases, so the creasing becomes less obvious. All you're left with is that beautiful sheen, and I'm also going to use my fingers to pop a light amount of that on the tops of the cheekbones so it carries through from the eyes and all the way around the cheekbone. I'm then using what's left on the bristles to pop a little bit of that on the cupid's bow, the tip of the nose, and a little bit on the chin to bring some light to the centre of the face. So as you can see, Amy's skin still looks like skin. It is so flawless. It's nicely sculpted, but again looks uber natural. For blush, I want another long-lasting product that's very lightweight, so naturally I'm reaching for the Daniel Sandler watercolour blush, and the shade I'm going to use is Cherub. Adding a pop of colour to this area of the face really does give a youthful flush to your complexion. The sculpting that we've applied around the hairline has added just enough of that bronzed finish to the skin that I don't need to apply any bronzer, and instead I want the blush to be a bit more of a focal point rather than it being a bronzy finish. So you can see I'm building it up slowly. I've applied it with the brush and then I'm knocking it back with the sponge to create a very soft veil on the skin, and then you can just build it up in the areas that you want it. Rather than applying too much and not being able to take it away, you also want your edges to be very seamless. As I mentioned earlier, I am going to be keeping the lips very simple with a nice layer of gloss. These are the new Huda Beauty Faux Filler lip glosses, and I'm mixing the shades Sugar Baby and Honey together. I could have just gone with Sugar Baby, which is the pink, but I feel like it was too cool for this look. It needed to be a little bit warmer. Next up, I'm moving back onto the eyes. I'm taking this AU Kajal eyeliner. I wanted something that was waterproof and long lasting, so I've chosen this product. It's ultra creamy and the nude shade really just helps to open up the eyes and make them look a little bit brighter. These are also enriched with vitamin E and calming chamomile. I wanted a kind of spiky but still soft individual lash look for this makeup style. So I'm using a mix of different individual lashes. I'm not going to make them too long. I'm going to apply a full set all the way across using 8 and 10 mil. And then I will go in at the end with some 12 mil to apply a couple on the end for a slightly accentuated outer swoop, but then also a few through the centre just to spike it up a little bit. Obviously this is just something I wanted to do, but you can feel free to use a strip lash or cluster lashes, whatever works for you. This is just something I wanted to do because I feel like it really made the eyes look very clean and fresh, and I just really like the look, lashy and a little bit blushy with a glossy lip. I'm now going in with a little bit of eyeliner underneath the top lash line, also known as tight lining, just to get rid of any of the pinky tones, which makes the eyelash line look fuller. Now I want to merge Amy's natural eyelashes with the falsies, so I'm going in with some Valentino Beauty Magnificent Mascara on an eyelash comb and keeping this really close to her natural root and just pulling up lightly just to merge the natural lashes and darken them slightly, and then I'm putting that on the lower eyelashes but making sure it's visible because I want a bit of a dull look to the eyes. So her eyes are nice and bright because we've got that Kajal nude eyeliner along the waterline, and then I'm going to pop some individual tiny eyelashes just along the lower eyelash line, again to enhance that doe-eyed wide look. This mascara is so black and it lasts all day and it doesn't flake or move, and it comes off really easily, which is such a bonus, so I really like it. Here I'm just placing a couple of individual 12mm eyelashes through the centre. I've repeatedly said how I want this look to look super natural and see Amy's skin through it, and of course you can still see her freckles, but I'm going to go in and just enhance a few more of them just to make this look extra natural, as if her skin is just wearing a bit of blush and a little bit of luminosity rather than any foundation. This is completely an optional step, you don't have to do this, but a couple of those individual freckles are just going to be slightly enhanced with a little bit of eyeshadow and a mix in medium so it's waterproof. Even when you've done that step, it is still a good idea just to go in with whatever's left on your bristles, whether it's foundation or concealer, and press over it. Again, it just helps to look extra natural. Then I want to apply a little bit of setting powder through the centre of the face. This is the Laura Mercier Ultra Blurring Powder. I love this one because it just gives that blurring finish to the skin, and I feel like it's not super intense, and if you really work it into the bristles it doesn't look powdery at all. So this is just going to take down a little bit of shine through the centre. We'll still have that glow, but it's not shiny. And again, I'm using a smaller brush so I can be more precise about the application of the powder. This one is also by BK Beauty. And that completes today's fresh, clean, lightweight, natural looking makeup. It's minimal in the finish, but achieving a very natural look doesn't always mean minimal amount of products, but light layers is definitely the way forward. It helps with longevity, it just helps with the natural finish to the skin. Amy obviously is such a beautiful canvas to work on, so that definitely helps, but hopefully you guys have found this useful, whether it's for yourself, again this can be adapted to any age group, or if it's for your teenagers. I hope you've been able to take something away from this. I love a clean natural look, and so does Amy. It's one of her favourite looks that we've done to date. I have listed and linked all the products I've used in the description bar so you guys can shop directly from the video if you like. I do get a little kickback from some of the products. Not all the links are affiliates, but some of them are. So if you do shop from them, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it really does help me to continue to make these videos for you. A huge thank you to Amy for modelling for me. I will link her Instagram below if you want to give her a follow. Please subscribe if you're new to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!